All right, we're taking a look at solving some of our rational equations. We're going to look at 26 first. And guys, remember, the idea is to get this so that you don't have, oh, sorry guys, so that you don't have actual fractions. And so if you're looking at this denominator here, if you factored this denominator here, it would be an n times an n plus 7. There we go. Right? And so really the only difference between these two and the red is the n plus 7. Now what you're going to actually do is you're not going to just multiply everything by the n plus 7 because that won't actually be enough to take care of everything. What you can do is multiply everything. Oops, sorry. Okay, I thought I hit the pause button. You're going to multiply everything by the n times the n plus 7. And remember, it's got to distribute to everything in your fraction, so or everything in your equation. I'm going to go below because I think I might actually hit one of the buttons. So we're going to go to this first fraction, then equals the second fraction, you're putting it to everything. So when you go to this first fraction, the n down here in the denominator and the n, I don't want to cross it off, but your first n right here, those are going to cancel, and what you're going to have left is n minus 6, because that was already there, and then n plus 7. That's going to equal. Okay, then you're going to do the same thing, and again, your n's are going to cancel, and you'll have an n minus 5 times n plus 7. And then your last one really is nice because everything cancels, and so you're just going to subtract that 1 that was already there. Then you got a FOIL, so you got n squared, outer is 7. Hold on, got to pause it. All right, coughing fit over. Here we go. Outer is 7n, inner is minus 6n, so you've got a 1n there, and last times last is going to be a negative 42. That's going to equal n squared plus 7n minus 5n is going to be a plus 2n, and that's going to be a minus 35 minus a 1. Oops, minus a 1. Your n squared, you're going to subtract from both sides. They're going to go away. So then you're going to have an n minus a 42 equals a 2n minus a 36. I'm going to add 36 to both sides and subtract n from both sides. So when I do that, I get a negative 6 over here, and on the right, I'm going to get a 1n. So n equals negative 6. All right, that's that first one. Let me see if I can shrink any of that down. Nope. Some of that, I can shrink some of that. All right, so then we'll go on to number 27. Number 27 is a little bit nicer because you only have one denominator that you have to worry about. And so when you go through and multiply everything out, you're going to just, oops, that's supposed to be a curve. Undo that draw. So you're going to multiply everything by a 3n. And you distribute it to everything. When you distribute it to that first fraction, the 3n on top, the 3n in the denominator cancel, you have a 4. That's going to be plus 3n squared minus 2 times 3n is 6n, and then that's going to equal a 1. So you got 3n squared minus 6n, and then you are going to, you have a 4, you're going to subtract 1 from both sides, so you've got a plus a 3. Equals a 0. These are all divisible by 3, so I'm actually going to divide 3 out through the whole thing. So n squared minus 2n plus 1 equals a 0. So it's n minus 1 times n minus 1, because two numbers, when I multiply them, I get 1, and when I add them, I get negative 2, are negative 1 and negative 1. So we get n equals 1. And of course, you should always be checking these and making sure that your answers actually work, that they are allowed to work, that when you plug it back in. And of course, you can always just check it in your calculator. You don't have to show that work. You just want to check and make sure that you've got the right answer.